Hey everybody, happy Wednesday. Mark Hazy here from Black Cat Comics in rockin Milpitas. Every Wednesday is New Comic Day and I like to give you some great reasons to get down to your local comic shop and pick up something fun to read. It's a pretty small week, but all the publishers brought their A titles this week, like Batman number 30. This is an interlude story for your war of jokes and riddles. Been loving these Tim Sale titles. If you love Long Halloween and a million other things like I do, you love these Tim Sale shots. That's your B cover. Doesn't get much bigger than Batman. Nightwing, one of my favorite DC titles, one of my favorite Bat characters, starts a new story arc this week, harkening back to some of the Grayson stuff from New 52, which was awesome. Harley Quinn, getting ready for her 25th anniversary. There she is, doing some yoga. Bane Conquest, co-starring Catwoman, rounds out your Bat stuff for the week. We're always saying it's a big week for Batman. Superman is one of the biggest DC titles out there, which makes me very happy because I'm an old school Superman guy. If you're not following Superman currently, you're really missing out, and I would definitely advise you to grab some Superman, grab some Action Comics, because as they build to Action Comics 1000, it's sure to be one of the biggest things in comics and maybe comics history. It's going to be super awesome. Everybody's digging super stuff these days. There he is on the cover of Justice League, another one of DC's big titles. Justice League is always a great book to follow if you love the super stuff. Green Lanterns and Green Arrow, with Green Lantern and Green Arrow on the cover of that one by all-time great Neil Adams. That one goes back to your early 60s, or late 60s, early 70s stuff. If you're an old guy like me, love some Hal and Ollie team-ups. Deathstroke, coming from the dark side of the Rebirth DCU. And Cyborg rounds out your DC Rebirth stuff. But as always, there's more DC books to talk about, like Bombshells United, the new series coming out of the DC Comics Bombshells that ran, 4 or 5 volumes. Fun stuff. Injustice 2 is your video game tie-in book of the week. But Astro City is your Vertigo book of the week. Always talking up some Astro City any chance I get. This has been one of the best superhero titles ever since it started as an Image book way back in the 90s. Great stuff. Kurt Busiek, I mean, these Alex Ross covers, Brent Anderson, on and on and on and on and on and on. Pick up some Astro City. It's really great. And Savage Things is your other Vertigo title this week. A little more in line with what you're used to from Vertigo, Bloody Knives and such. Doom Patrol is your Young Animal book of the week, which is ironic because it has a young animal on the cover. And Shade the Changing Girl is your other Young Animal book of the week. But the DC one I've been waiting to get to is this guy. This is Dastardly and Muttley, coming out of Wacky Raceland. Been talking for a long time about the DC Hanna-Barbera stuff that's been a lot of fun. Everybody loves some Muttley. DC has a wide range of stuff, and it's all awesome. So go to their website and check out everything they do. Great time to be an X-Men fan. This is your new issue of X-Men Gold with your probably your favorite X-Men team, unless you're currently reading X-Men Blue, which I'm sure we'll talk about next week. I'm really digging this one, Astonishing X-Men. This is Astonishing number 3 with your cool transitioning Wolverine cover. Great stuff there. Lot going on in this title. If you've been dragging your heels on this one, you want to grab number 1, number 2, number 3. They're quietly doing something really huge in this book. Just saying. Generation X and Iceman are your other X books for the week, unless you count Champions. Maybe you know who that guy is. He's one of the original X-Men. This book's been a lot of fun. If you're a fan of the new generation of Marvel heroes, the much talked about new generation of Marvel heroes, grab some Champions because it's a fun team-up book. Speaking of a lot of talk about, Daredevil starts a new story arc this week. You can read more about this one in the newsletter, along with Iron Fist and Jessica Jones is 3 of your 4 Netflix comics of the week. All 3 of these are highly recommended. Great stuff. I've been a Daredevil fan for a long time. Been encouraging people to read any Daredevil trade paperback that you can get your hands on. This Jessica Jones title has been a lot of fun. Good stuff. Black Bolt, Inhumans #2, and Royals #7 are your 3 Inhumans titles, because Marvel's going nuts with all this Inhumans stuff in the wake of their TV show that's rolling out. Maybe you saw the IMAX premiere. If you haven't, I'm sure you can find it online. It's getting a lot of talk these days. Spider-Man, starring Miles Morales, is one of your many Spider books this week, like Spider-Man Deadpool, and 2 Venomverse books like Venomverse #1 and Venomverse War Stories #1, both coming out of your Edge of the Venomverse stuff that was surprisingly huge. All new Guardians of the Galaxy and Generations, Iron Man and Ironheart conclude your Marvel books for the week. But wait, there's more. Lots of Star Wars to talk about this week, like the first issue of Captain Phasma. Marvel always has miniseries running along with their ongoings. They have ongoings like Star Wars and Darth Vader, which is awesome. Everybody's been following the new series of Darth Vader. But they do minis like the Captain Phasma, like the Rogue One adaptation, like the Darth Maul series that recently ended and the trade paperback is out this week. Always encouraging you guys to check out one of the many Star Wars books that they do, because they're all awesome. I'll be talking about just a little more Star Wars in a minute. Usagi Yojimbo is your Dark Horse book of the week, because it's done by the immortal Stan Sakai. If you don't know anything about Usagi Yojimbo, you owe it to yourself to pick up the volume 1 from Dark Horse, or go back to the Fantagraphics stuff, absorb as much Usagi as you can, and I don't know, be entertained by some of the greatest comics out there. Predator is your other Dark Horse book of the week, because I get a rare opportunity to show something besides the Mike Mignola stuff that I love so much. Everybody's into Predator. This is one of their long-time Dark Horse properties. Good stuff there. Great week for the Image guys. I don't need to tell you about Walking Dead, other than most of you follow it in trade paperback, and I'm always encouraging you to catch up to the single issues to absorb some of that shock and suspense that you get out of the episodes. Fun stuff. 7 to Eternity, Wicked and the Divine, Outcast are 3 of some of Image's biggest books, and they have many of them. Like a lot of publishers these days, I'm always encouraging you guys to go to the website, check out all the different stuff they do. Surely there's a book you haven't heard of that you would probably find super awesome, like maybe Kingsman. That's your first issue, gotta have it, Image book of the week. And all the other guys have some great stuff too. Big week for Dynamite. Green Hornet 66 meets The Spirit. There's 2 awesome crime-fighting characters in one comic. Grab the first issue of that and treat yourself to just some retro awesomeness. Speaking of retro awesomeness, My Greatest Adventure, with all the Burroughs characters teaming up. Great stuff there. Speaking of team-ups, Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys. Dynamite is just kicking butt these days. I'm talking about these guys all the time, like I talk about Archie. Lots and lots of great team-ups, great stories, great art. Harbinger Renegade is your Valiant book of the week. And Doctor Who, the Ninth Doctor, Lost Dimension Part 2 is your Titan book of the week. They do a book for all the different Doctors, so if you're a Doctor Who fan like everybody is, grab one or all of those Doctor titles, because they're awesome. And last but not least is some more Star Wars. This is, oddly enough, your IDW book of the week, and it's an all-ages title. Star Wars Adventures, because you just can't get enough. Great stuff. Lots and lots of great titles, so check those shipping lists, get down to your shop, pick up something super awesome. That's all we got for you for this week. You can check us out at Facebook, you can check us out at blackhatcomics.biz, you can check out our cool YouTube channel, you can check out our podcast at soundcloud.com, or just get on down here to Rockin Milpitas. Thanks for watching, we'll see you next week.